Hi, welcome to this week's Awakening Game. Before I introduce this week's Awakening Game, now that we have a few games under our belt, I want to ask you a question. Are you practicing the games more than once or twice? The reason I want to ask that question is the mind doesn't want us to go into the true self and realize the true self and abide as the true self because it feels abandoned there. It wants us to keep our attention with it. And so one of the mind's tricks after we've played a particular awakening game, a couple of times, 3 times, something like that, is just say, okay, you know how that works now. Like you've already tried feeling awareness, seeing awareness, hearing awareness, smelling awareness, tasting awareness. You can't, no sense of doing this game anymore. But that's a trick. The purpose of the games are to bring us into awareness and to help us stay there until it dawns, this is what I am, until there's this shift that occurs from mind as primary to awareness as primary. So that's why they're called awakening games. They're games with the purpose of awakening. But the only way that they serve the purpose is if you play them. So you'll notice that when I share a game, I also recommend how much to practice it during the week. And so try to do that to the best of your ability. That's how the games are effective. Don't let the mind trick you. Even if the mind is like, you've played this game 20 times this week, play the game anyway, right? It will serve its purpose that way. So last week, we were noticing that awareness is not an object. In order to do that, we had to have attention on awareness. Well, this week, we're going to continue with awareness is not an object, but we're going to play it a little differently. We were more focused on, what you could call the external senses last week. We were focused on seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching, right? This time, we're going to focus more on the internal sense of touch. We're going to pay attention to awareness using the sensations of the body as a tool. Most people have a belief they don't even recognize, just a belief they take so for granted they don't even know they have the belief. Most people believe that awareness is in the body. And when the body dies, awareness dies because awareness is a byproduct of the body. If that were true, then awareness would be an object of the body, just as the brain and the heart are objects of the body. And so what we're going to do this week is we're going to investigate to see if that is true. So you might want to close your eyes for this one. And the first instruction may sound a little weird, but trust me and follow the instruction anyway, okay? Here we go. Now, the first thing I would like you to do is to locate awareness within the body. If awareness is in the body, it has to be an object in a particular location within the body. Where would you point if you were pointing at that location? I am pointing at the head, basically behind the eyes. Some people might point at the head, the forehead area. Some people might point towards the chest, towards the heart. But you want to do an honest search. Where do you think awareness comes from? Where is its location? Where is this object of awareness? And point at it. Once you're done pointing at it, you can, put your hand back down. Place your attention in that location. So I am placing my attention inside the head, behind the eyes. Wherever you think awareness is, place your attention there. Notice the sensations in that location. Notice what it feels like there in that location. And really allow yourself to rest attention there, paying attention to what this location within the body feels like. Notice the edges of that particular location. You could take your finger again if you want to, and to the best of your ability, trace the edges. Although it's inside, I'm basically tracing around my eyes because that's where it feels like it is. I'm even noticing as I do that, it feels a little more, it goes a little further back than the eyes for me, and a little above the eyebrows. It's not really below the eyes. It's like the upper half of the eye for me, around to the temples and above the eyebrows. So where would you trace it for you? Is it at the top of the head? Is it around the center of the chest? Around the heart? Just trace it. And then you can put your hands back down and notice this object, the fullness of it, the inside sensation, the edges. In effect, this location that you pointed at as awareness is limited. We know it's limited because we can see the edges of it. We just trace them. So now ask yourself this question. What sees this object? What's aware of this limited object that appears to be awareness? And is it inside the object? Can it be located? Does it have a place in the body where it resides? If your mind thinks yes, then start the process again. Point at the new location. Is it behind the ear? The back of the head? Another place in the chest? and repeat the process. Notice the sensations there. Find the edges of the sensations there. Notice that it's limited. And then ask, what's aware of this? Every time a new location seems to pop up, practice this again. The question is, does awareness have a location in the body, or is that a misperception? If it has a location within the body, then it is an object. But if we can't find a location within the body, if we can't find any such object, then awareness is really no object. We can't actually point at it like we can the sensations behind the eyes or in the chest. So that's this week's game. Is awareness an object, part 2? I recommend playing this game twice a day. Once in the morning, and then once sometime later in the day when it feels like a quiet time for you, maybe late afternoon, maybe evening, whatever suits your lifestyle. And then next week, we'll look at a new awakening game. All right, bye.